Hello everyone and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today Marco and I have an elementary level lesson for you.
That's right. It's a new year, and so we have a lesson for you where we are going to make new decisions and have a new opportunity in the new year, right?
That's right. So the new year is the time to change parts of your life, maybe. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's listen to this dialogue 3 times, and when we come back, we'll be talking about the words and phrases in the dialogue.
Now that it's the new year, I've decided to turn over a new leaf.
Yeah? You finally decided to wipe the slate clean?
You got it. I have a new job, I'm living in a new city with new friends. This is my opportunity to make some small changes in the way I live my life.
So what are you going to do? Take up an art class or something?
Well, first of all, I've decided to stop smoking. It's not that I'm pinching pennies or anything, it's just that I've been smoking since I was 16, and I think it's time to stop.
I'm with you on that one. Anything else you're planning on doing?
One last thing. I've decided to come out of the closet.
It's about time.
All right, we're back. And so if you notice, the dialogue has actually a lot of really, really rich phrases in there. So today we're going to change the format a little bit, and we're going to do Fluency Builder in 2 different sections. So starting out with the first one on Fluency Builder Part 1.
Fluency Builder.
So the new year, we think about new things, changing things. We have a great phrase in English to describe starting fresh, starting anew. And we say, turn over a new leaf.
Okay, so you turn over a new leaf. So that means that you are going to maybe make a radical change, right? Some completely new.
That's right. So if you think about it, it's a new chapter in your life or a new adventure or something like that. Maybe you're going to quit your job, turn over a new leaf, start a new job.
Okay. So you can say, I'm going to turn over a new leaf, or Sarah turned over a new leaf and quit smoking.
Let's turn over a new leaf and forget the past.
There we go. All right, so to turn over a new leaf. So just imagine that you have a leaf on the ground and you turn it over and it's nice and clean. All right, and talking about cleanliness, our second phrase is to wipe the slate clean.
Okay, when I think about this phrase, I think about a chalkboard, okay? So a slate is like a chalkboard, and all of the things that you've done, good and bad, are on that chalkboard. And to wipe the slate clean means to erase those words, erase those things. So perhaps Marco and I fight all the time, and we're angry at each other. Finally, I say, listen, Marco, let's wipe the slate clean. Let's forget the past. Let's forget the things we said and start again.
And start a new leaf. To wipe the slate clean is to just start over. You know, just to erase everything. Let's forget about it and start over.
Exactly.
All right, and so we're starting over, and his friend is asking, you decided to wipe the slate clean, and the friend said, you got it. You got what?
What? It.
What is it?
In English, we love the word it.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, you got it means you're right, exactly. You understand what I'm talking about.
Okay, so if you agree with me or I understand what you're talking about, you would say, you got it.
You got it.
You got it. Okay.
All right, so I'm trying to explain to you, maybe, Marco, something very difficult, like, if you add 4 and 10, you get 14, but what if you add 10 more?
It's 24.
You got it.
All right.
Okay, so he understands math.
Yes. Okay, so that's the way you would use you got it. It's a really popular phrase. I mean, you can use it on pretty much anything, not only if you're right, but also if somebody agrees with it or you promise something, right? So, are you going to pick me up today? Yeah, you got it.
Okay,
no problem.
So it's a way to agree or to show that you're saying yes.
Yes. Okay, so why don't we listen to our dialogue again, and we'll come back shortly to look at Fluency Builder Part 2.
Now that it's the new year, I've decided to turn over a new leaf.
Yeah? You finally decided to wipe the slate clean?
You got it. I have a new job, I'm living in a new city with new friends. This is my opportunity to make some small changes in the way I live my life.
So what are you going to do? Take up an art class or something?
Well, first of all, I've decided to stop smoking. It's not that I'm pinching pennies or anything, it's just that I've been smoking since I was 16, and I think it's time to stop.
I'm with you on that one. Anything else you're planning on doing?
One last thing. I've decided to come out of the closet.
It's about time.
All right, we're back, so now let's continue with our Fluency Builder. And, well, they kept talking, and the guy mentioned that he's going to stop smoking. But it's not because he is pinching pennies.
Oh, pinching. That sounds painful.
Right.
Okay, pinching is something you do, especially when you're a child. You squeeze the skin. Pinch, and
Right.
it hurts. So to pinch really is to hold something with two fingers. To pinch pennies means to try to spend very, very, very little money. Okay,
Right.
so if we say, if I say, "Hey, Marco, you want to go to dinner tonight? There's this really nice Italian place. It's a little expensive, but
Oh, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm really pinching pennies these days because I'm kind of broke.
so maybe we'll go somewhere cheaper."
Yeah. So actually, pennies are 1 cent. 1 cent coins, right? They're called pennies in the United States.
That's right, and it's the smallest kind of money that we have in America. So if you're pinching pennies, if you're saving pennies, it means you really don't have much money.
Right,
So
you're really, really saving.
That's right.
Okay, so pinching pennies. So he decided to quit smoking, and his friend agreed with him and said, "You know what? I'm with you on that one."
Okay, so you quit smoking, Marco, and I quit smoking. I'm with you on that one. I think it's a good idea. If I'm with you on that one, it means I agree with you. You're doing the right thing.
So you can say, "I'm with you on that one," or you can just say, "You know what? I'm with you. Do it."
I'm with
or
you.
"I'm with you. I agree." Or "I'm with you. I support your decision."
So you are going to go skydiving in a couple weeks. That means you're
Right.
going to jump out of an airplane. I'm not with you on that one.
You don't support my decision.
I think it's okay for you, but I would not want to do it personally.
All right. Right. So you can do it in that way or just anything. You support somebody's decision. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
Exactly.
All right. And our last phrase, to come out of the closet.
So who's in the closet?
Why is somebody hiding in the closet?
Okay, someone's not really hiding in the closet. This is a phrase we use to describe someone who is gay or lesbian, who has a secret about being a gay or lesbian. So when they come out of the closet, they're telling their friends and family for the first time that this is how they feel.
So it's basically a phrase that's kind of a metaphor to say, you know what, I'm going to tell everyone that I am gay or lesbian, right?
That's right. Well, it's because in English, oftentimes a closet is a place where we keep secrets. Okay, and so to come out of the closet means to share your secrets with people.
So sometimes in English you say, you have skeletons in the closet.
That's right. This is a little different. Maybe I killed someone, and it's a skeleton in my closet. It's a secret that I keep.
But a skeleton in your closet can also be a very big secret, like you were once married and you never told anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Or I have 2 kids and I never told you guys.
Right, so those would be skeletons in the closet, but in this case, it's to come out of the closet, and that's always related to telling somebody for the first time that you are gay or lesbian.
That's right. And we don't say it about being straight, which is the opposite, which
Right.
is men who love women and women who love men.
Right.
You don't say it about coming out of the closet there. You say it about being gay or lesbian.
Okay, so very interesting, and so I think we should listen to this dialogue for the last time, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more.
Now that it's the new year, I've decided to turn over a new leaf.
Yeah? You finally decided to wipe the slate clean?
You got it. I have a new job, I'm living in a new city with new friends. This is my opportunity to make some small changes in the way I live my life.
So what are you going to do? Take up an art class or something?
Well, first of all, I've decided to stop smoking. It's not that I'm pinching pennies or anything, it's just that I've been smoking since I was 16, and I think it's time to stop.
I'm with you on that one. Anything else you're planning on doing?
One last thing. I've decided to come out of the closet.
It's about time.
All right, we're back. So this is very interesting, and these phrases are so common because if you have a fight with somebody, you say, you know what, let's just wipe the slate clean and start all over again, or let's turn over a new leaf, let's stop fighting. And especially in New Year's, right? Everyone makes a promise to start fresh.
That's right. Well, the new year, you can use a new calendar. You can take a fresh perspective on your life. It's refreshing. And I think it's good that we do this. We evaluate the things that make us happy and we evaluate the things that make us unhappy. And part of that means turning over a new leaf. Part of it also means apologizing to people.
Right.
Or trying to make the relationships in your life healthier. And I think it's very healthy that the person in this dialogue says, listen, I'm finally going to come out of the closet. I'm going to be honest with my friends and family.
And that's really interesting because, as we said, to come out of the closet is a phrase used in English and mostly related only in this context. So you might see it in TV shows or in a movie. And but it's an interesting topic, still debatable all over the world about, gay marriages and things like that.
That's right. So we're curious about your New Year's resolutions. Are you going to be wiping any slates clean? Are you going to be doing anything differently this year? Let us know on our website, englishpod.com. We look forward to hearing from you, and until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Start anew. Turn over a new leaf. Start over. Wipe the slate clean. Chance. Opportunity. Start. Adopt the study. Take up. To be thrifty. Pinch pennies. Support you. With you. To state openly or publicly one's homosexuality. Come out of the closet.
Let's try that faster.
To be thrifty. Pinch pennies. Chance. Opportunity. Start. Adopt the study. Take up. To state openly or publicly one's homosexuality. Come out of the closet. Start over. Wipe the slate clean. Start anew. Turn over a new leaf. Support you. With you.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Turn over a new leaf. The dragon decided to turn over a new leaf by opening a new bar and grill restaurant instead of burning and eating humans. Turn over a new leaf. My sister has really turned over a new leaf since the last time I saw her. She doesn't get angry easily anymore and is more thoughtful. Turn over a new leaf. English Pod decided to turn over a new leaf and offer learning English in Chinese to its users. Wipe the slate clean. I was unhappy with the way I was living, so I decided to wipe the slate clean and start again. Wipe the slate clean. By wiping the slate clean, he was able to forget the troubles of his past and go on with living his life. Wipe the slate clean. She hoped that by starting this new business, she could wipe the slate clean and be accepted back into the community. Opportunity. Now that I've graduated, this is my opportunity to make a difference in the world. Opportunity. When it was his turn to sing karaoke, he jumped at the opportunity to show his friends how good he was. Opportunity. When they were finally alone on the beach, watching the sunset, he took the opportunity to tell her that he loved her. Take up. I decided I wasn't good at the piano, so I took up guitar instead. Take up. Are you going to take up dancing this year? Or are you going to stick to gymnastics? Take up. I am going to take up learning Chinese as my New Year's resolution. With you. You think he was guilty? I'm with you on that one. With you. Were with you to the death. with you. I'm with you when you say that life's not fair. But I don't agree that we should just sit around and feel sorry for ourselves when life gets tough.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine. So today we've got a great upper intermediate level lesson for our learners, and we're talking about what?
Healthcare.
Okay, this is a very important topic because it's been in the news recently, especially in the context of American politics. And so I don't know if you've heard things about this, listeners, but the healthcare is a very hot topic.
Exactly. So basically what we're talking about is health insurance, whether it's private health insurance or, like a standard national insurance program.
Exactly. And so your country might have a private option where you can pay a private company for insurance, or public option like England or Australia,
right,
where your country will actually provide healthcare for you at no extra cost.
Very good. So it's an interesting topic. Why don't we jump directly into the dialogue, and we'll be back to explain a couple things.
Hey, honey, how was your day?
It was all right. I ran into Bill and we got to talking for a while. He's in a bit of a jam.
Why? What happened?
Well, his son had an accident. Bill doesn't have health insurance. This really got me thinking, and I wondered if we shouldn't look into a couple of different HMOs.
Yeah, you're right. We aren't getting any younger, and our kids are getting older.
Exactly. I searched on the web and found a couple of HMOs with low copays and good coverage. The deductibles are low too.
Sounds good. Although, do you think we can qualify for insurance? Those insurance companies are real pirates when it comes to money.
Well, we don't have any pre-existing illnesses or conditions, so we should be fine.
I wish our company or country provided us with healthcare.
Not in a million years.
All right, we're back. So a lot of interesting vocab here. Why don't we take a look at it real fast in Language Takeaway?
Language takeaway.
Okay, Marco, this first phrase, or acronym actually, is 3 words that go together, HMO, and they're very, very common when you're talking about healthcare.
Right. So an HMO means Health Maintenance Organization.
Okay, and so this is a part of the health insurance topic, where we're talking about a company that will provide health insurance.
Right. So it's a company that provides health insurance, basically. And if you go up to an HMO, some of the information that you'll receive is, for example, what your copay will be.
Okay, so sometimes with a private option, when you pay a company to give you health insurance, you can get a lower rate if you help pay for some of your care. So, for example, a copay on a broken arm might be $20, but you pay $20, that's your copay, and your health insurance company pays the rest. And so sometimes copays are really high, they're really big, and that's kind of a bad deal, because if you hurt yourself, you don't want to pay a lot.
Right.
But sometimes there's no copay, in which case your company will pay for all of the coverage.
All right, so another very similar word is a deductible.
Okay, so deductible is something that is fixed and it's in your insurance policy. That means in the contract that you make with the insurance company, the deductible will be stated. For example, my insurance plan, I have maybe a $500 deductible.
Okay.
That means that in any situation, I get hurt or I get sick, I pay for the first $500 of care, and then my insurance company pays for the rest.
Right.
So if I have to have a $1,000 surgery, I pay $500, and then my insurance company pays the other $500.
Okay, very good. And, well, you have these deductibles and everything, and that depends on your coverage, right? Mm-hmm. So coverage, how much the HMO covers you.
That's right. And so you can find this also in your contract with your insurance company. And coverage will include or not include something. So coverage, for example, in a healthcare plan, does not usually include your teeth. That's a separate kind of insurance.
Right.
But a coverage can include emergency evacuation from a situation, or ambulances, for example. And so coverage is what is included in your insurance plan.
Okay, very good. And our last word for today is to qualify for.
All right, so you might have heard this phrase before in the context of sports or academics. So he qualified for a scholarship or she qualified for the varsity volleyball team. But in this case, to qualify for is to be able to use. So
To be eligible for.
To be eligible for.
So sometimes HMOs, like in, for example, the United States, will not accept a person who has maybe some health problems already because that would be too much of a risk, right, for the company. All right.
That's right. Or you could qualify for a reduced rate because you have a very good health history.
Okay. So this is very interesting, and we have a couple of other phrases that are very related to this language. So why don't we move on now to Fluency Builder?
Fluency Builder.
All right. So in Fluency Builder today, let's take a look at our first phrase. We got to talking for a while.
Okay, we could say, for example, we started talking or we were talking for a while. But this is a very spoken language kind of phrase where we'd say, we got to talking.
Right. So it's not really grammatically correct, but because you would say we started talking, but sometimes people say we got to talking. So we got into a conversation, right?
That's right. And usually it's about something. So we could say, yeah, we got to talking about how we both went to the same high school. Or we got to talking about this movie that we both saw.
Okay, very good. And well, they got to talking for a while, and apparently his friend was in a bit of a jam.
Okay, jam is a food, you can eat it, you put it on bread.
Like marmalade, right?
Exactly. But in this case, a jam is a fix or a difficult situation. So it has a very different meaning, and I want to warn you about that first.
Right.
But to be in a jam or to be in a bit of a jam is to be stuck.
Okay. So you're in a difficult situation. You have
Yeah.
some problem.
Yeah, so Marco, I'm in a bit of a jam here. Can I get your help with something?
All right. Very good. Okay. And then the guy was talking about insurance, and he said, this really got me thinking. So we got the verb got again there.
All right, so it got me thinking. That means I started thinking about something. So, when we were talking about jam a minute ago, it got me thinking about how much I love breakfast.
Very good. So you would use it in that way, right?
Like it reminded me.
It reminded me, or I started to really think about something. Okay. And our last phrase is a pre-existing illness.
All right, so to exist is to be, to be around. Pre-existing means existing before something else.
Okay.
And so you often hear this in terms of insurance when someone asks you about your pre-existing condition. So that means if I'm signing up for an insurance plan, health insurance plan, and I have an interview with you, Marco, and you ask me this question.
What is your pre-existing condition?
That means what diseases or health problems do I have right now?
Right.
Prior to signing up for this insurance. And I say, I don't have any. And you're very happy because that means I'll be cheap. But if I say, I have diabetes, then that is something that the insurance companies don't like because it's expensive.
Right. Because you're more probable of getting sick or something like that.
Right. So diabetes or cancer or Lyme disease, these are all pre-existing conditions. And usually pre-existing conditions are diseases or problems, health problems that you have that won't go away.
Okay, very good. All right, so we have a lot of words, a lot of phrases here. Let's listen to the dialogue one last time, and we'll be back.
Hey, honey, how was your day?
It was all right. I ran into Bill and we got to talking for a while. He's in a bit of a jam.
Why? What happened?
Well, his son had an accident. Bill doesn't have health insurance. This really got me thinking, and I wondered if we shouldn't look into a couple of different HMOs.
Yeah, you're right. We aren't getting any younger, and our kids are getting older.
Exactly. I searched on the web and found a couple of HMOs with low copays and good coverage. The deductibles are low too.
Sounds good. Although, do you think we can qualify for insurance? Those insurance companies are real pirates when it comes to money.
Well, we don't have any pre-existing illnesses or conditions, so we should be fine.
I wish our company or country provided us with healthcare.
Not in a million years.
All right, so the healthcare issue is pretty heated debate now in the United States because many people don't have healthcare and it's not very accessible, right?
That's right. And it's a huge debate because it's very, very divided by party lines. We say, there's the Republicans on the right and there's the Democrats on the left. And the Democrats want a public healthcare option. They want healthcare to be available for everyone for free.
Right.
And many of them do. And a lot of Republicans say, no, it should be private because if it's private, there's competition and that means there's better healthcare. And so there's a really big debate and people are getting very angry about it.
Yeah. But I think it's something that's very interesting and most importantly, seeing the difference of healthcare systems around the world, right? So, for example, our listeners there are from everywhere in the world. So we would like to know what the healthcare system is like there. Do you have free universal healthcare in your country, or do you also have to pay for private companies or private health insurance?
And if you have one or the other system, do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? What do you think needs some work?
Right. I definitely agree with universal healthcare. I think it's a relief because it's like one thing less to worry about. I can't imagine if I don't have healthcare right now and I'm not covered by a private company and something happens to me tomorrow, then, what's going to happen?
And I think it's a basic human right personally. So I think it's in the best interests of a country to invest in it because it means that their people are more productive and happier
and healthy.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to come to EnglishPod.com, leave your questions and comments, and we'll see you guys there.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Meet or encounter. Run into. Kind of. A bit of. A problem or difficult situation. Jam. Investigate. Look into. Health Maintenance Organization. Health Maintenance Organization.
A clause in an insurance policy that relieves the.
Deductible. The extent of the protection provided by insurance. Coverage. In terms of. About. When it comes to. A payment made every time a medical service is needed. Copay.
Let's try that faster.
Meet or encounter. Run into. Kind of. A bit of.
A clause in an insurance policy that relieves the.
Deductible. A problem or difficult situation. Jam. A payment made every time a medical service is needed. Copay. In terms of. About. When it comes to. Health Maintenance Organization. Health Maintenance Organization. The extent of the protection provided by insurance. Coverage. Investigate. Look into.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Run into. I ran into an old college friend, and we had a nice chat. Run into. I wish I could run into some of my old high school friends, but it's unlikely since I live in another country. Run into. He told me he ran into his ex-wife and had an intense conversation. A bit of. We should really consider buying health insurance. A bit of. I wanted to buy health insurance, but it seems like a rip-off. A bit of. This insurance company seems to be quite convenient. Look into. You should start looking into some college options. Look into. We started looking into job offers in the city, but there's nothing interesting. Look into. Have you looked into this health insurance company? Coverage. Your car insurance coverage doesn't apply for this case. Coverage. My phone has nationwide coverage. Coverage. This health insurance plan has a great deal of coverage. Copay. We can only hope that the government provides us with good education. Copay. In this family, I am the one who provides with all things necessary. Copay. My sponsor provides me with almost all the things I ask for.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to another advanced lesson here at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going to be back in the office.
That's right. We are listening in as somebody gets a little bit of trouble from their boss for being a bit late on a project.
All right, so we're going to be at the office. Somebody misses a deadline. And so, well, how do you handle the situation? What can you do to explain yourself?
And what language can you actually use to talk about missed deadlines and late work?
All right, so let's see why this person missed the deadline, and let's find out what happens.
And so I just wanted to check in with you and find out where we are with this project. As you know, you missed a fairly significant deadline last week, and this will negatively impact the team's ability to move forward with the next stages of this project.
I know. I'm really sorry that I missed the deadline, but really, it wasn't my fault. You see, we had all of these unexpected technical problems at the last minute, and I couldn't get into the database and extract the kind of information that I needed for the data analysis. You know, if the tech guys would have done their job and kept the CRM stable, then I wouldn't have missed my deadline.
Oh, come on. An excuse like that is tantamount to lying. You're essentially blaming the tech team for your time management issues rather than accepting responsibility for the fact that you were procrastinating for the past 2 weeks.
No, I'm not trying to pass the buck here. I know it was me who was ultimately responsible for getting this done. But the thing is, I could have finished on time if the system hadn't gone down. And you know, with everything I've got going on now, I can't afford to waste time dealing with technical problems. I've got a lot on my plate, and there are only 24 hours in a day.
I'm not going to accept this excuse. You're using these small technical glitches as a crutch and trying to rationalize the fact that you've missed your deadline. Look, we have standards, and I expect you to live up to those standards. No more phony excuses. If you're in over your head, you tell me. No more missed deadlines. Now, I want that data on my desk by 9 a.m.
Well, it sounds like this guy isn't really accepting a lot of the responsibility for his missed deadline.
Yeah, exactly. Well, apparently he's explaining that it wasn't only his fault, right?
Yep. So some technical problems, but he used a lot of pretty interesting language, and I think it'll help us to look at that now in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so on language takeaway today, we have 5 words, and let's start with the first one.
All right. Well, the boss is not really happy with the excuse that the employee was giving, and he said an excuse like that is tantamount to lying.
Tantamount.
Tantamount to something.
Okay, so if an excuse like that is tantamount to lying, what is he trying to say here?
Basically, it's the same as, or it's almost the same as.
So similar to. So if I say tantamount to something else, how would I use it?
Marco, taking my computer without asking is tantamount to stealing.
Okay, so even though I'm not actually stealing it or taking it home with me, it is almost like stealing.
Yeah, and the interesting grammatical thing here is that we almost always use a gerund right after. So tantamount to verb ing.
Okay, tantamount to stealing, tantamount to lying, tantamount to killing.
Okay. Well, on that happy note, let's go on to our next word. Now, the boss was really unhappy with the employee for procrastinating.
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 So the verb is to procrastinate.
And when you procrastinate, you say, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, so you kind of delay things or you leave it for another day.
Yep.
All right, very good. So to procrastinate.
A favorite verb amongst college students.
I actually thought for a little while that procrastinate was to have babies.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of similar.
Yeah.
What's the word?
Procreate.
Procreate. See?
Yeah.
So for a while, I always thought that procrastinate was like having babies. Like, why are you procrastinating? And I'm like, I'm not.
Well, glad you got that straight.
So yes, our listeners, procrastinate is not the same as procreate.
Okay.
I learned that the hard way.
Yes. Well, it sounds like you had a little bit of a glitch in your understanding of language, and that's our next phrase. So in the dialogue, they were talking about some glitches with the system.
A glitch in the system.
Okay, so a glitch.
Now, this is common among computers, right? A glitch is an error.
Right. So when you're talking about a glitch and you're talking about computers, it's an error, a mistake. But we also use it to talk about any unexpected problem, a small unexpected problem.
Okay, so a small glitch.
Yeah. There was a glitch in our plan and we arrived 10 minutes late.
Or I can say this movie has a glitch in the story.
So there's a small problem in the story that doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
All right. So the employee was blaming his lateness on these small technical glitches, but the boss didn't believe this, right? The boss said, "You're trying to rationalize the fact that you missed the deadline."
Okay, to rationalize.
To rationalize.
So the boss is saying that he's trying to rationalize. So that means, is he trying to make sense of it?
Well, this is an interesting psychological word. And when you rationalize something, you think about it or describe it, like especially some bad behavior, in a way that makes it seem better or proper or more sensible.
So you're trying to convince yourself.
Yeah, you're telling other people, but you're also telling yourself that it's better.
Okay, or that you're right when you're actually wrong.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so he was trying to rationalize the fact that he missed the deadline. So he was trying to explain to the boss and also kind of make himself believe that it wasn't really his fault when it was.
Now, because this is a little bit of a difficult concept to understand, I think we should hear some examples.
Example 1.
You can't rationalize your son's behavior by saying he's going through a hard time.
Example 2.
As much as I tried, I couldn't rationalize buying such an expensive pair of shoes.
Example 3.
You know it was the wrong thing to do. Stop trying to rationalize it.
Okay, so clear as daylight now, this word rationalize.
All right, and our final word. So the boss really wasn't happy with these excuses, and he said, no more phony excuses.
Okay, phony.
Phony.
Phony, phony.
So phony is basically false or fake.
Right, so a phony statement.
A phony watch.
Okay, a fake watch.
Yeah, not a Sony watch, but phony watch.
A phony. So a lot of great words in this dialogue, but as you mentioned, we also saw some very interesting phrases that we can use in situations like this. So why don't we start now with Fluency Builder?
Fluency Builder.
Well, you know, one of the interesting things about English is that we have a lot of ways to make things sound more direct, less direct, harder or softer. And in this dialogue, there are a few examples of how we use softening words to do the opposite, to actually make it a little strong.
Okay, so why don't we start with the first paragraph? In the first part of the dialogue, he said you missed a fairly significant deadline.
A fairly significant deadline.
Now, this word fairly.
Kind of, sort of.
So it's not very significant, it's
Yeah.
kind of significant.
Yeah.
But in this context, when the person is saying it, it just sounds a little bit softer, but your understanding is...
It's a very important deadline.
Okay, a very important deadline.
So another similar example of this is the boss was saying, you're essentially blaming the tech team.
Okay, you're essentially blaming.
So essentially is like basically or pretty much. So it sounds a little softer, but what he's actually really saying is, you're doing this.
Right. So instead of saying you're blaming the tech team, he adds this word essentially to kind of say, well, basically you're saying it's their fault.
Yeah.
But the context, or you understand that it's actually very direct, and he's saying it's your fault.
Yeah, so he's saying you're almost blaming the tech team, but what he means is you're blaming the tech team.
Mm-hmm. Now, our third phrase is very interesting because it's kind of like a saying.
That's right. So the employee says, I'm not trying to pass the buck here.
I'm not trying to pass the buck here.
I'm not trying to pass the buck.
Now, what's the buck?
$1 bill.
$1 bill. So we'll understand that he's saying, I'm not trying to blame somebody else or pass the blame on to someone else.
Mm-hmm. But you can think about it like this. Like, imagine he had some fake or phony money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to pass that on to the next person so he doesn't get in trouble.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to pass the buck. I'm not trying to pass the blame, put the responsibility on someone else.
Very good.
But you know what? You know what he really means here?
What?
I am trying to do this.
Because he knew, he knew that it was a fake dollar bill.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the fourth one is interesting as well because it's kind of like a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
The boss said, you're using these small technical glitches as a crutch.
So using something as a crutch.
Now, the crutch is a...
You know when you break your leg,
mm-hmm.
you use those wooden or metal sticks to walk with?
Okay, to help you walk.
Yeah.
So the boss is basically saying you're using these technical glitches as an excuse or as an aid to why you missed the deadline.
Yeah, so if you think about it like this, some people might say, okay, if you walk with a crutch, then you won't succeed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever. So this employee is basically saying, yes, I know that I should meet deadlines, but these problems, these glitches are like my crutch that make me not succeed.
Okay, so he's trying to just make excuses, basically.
Mm-hmm. So, God, Marco, that was a little bit difficult to understand. Do you think we should give a couple more examples?
Yeah, I think some more examples would be very useful, so let's listen to a couple of them now.
Example 1.
I realized that I was using alcohol as a crutch to get through the day.
Example 2.
I think Bill's very capable of being successful, but he uses his disability as a crutch.
Example 3.
Stop using your weight as a crutch. Just because you're a bit fat doesn't mean you can't get a great job.
All right, so a lot of great phrases, great words, and well, I think it's time for us to listen to this dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and talk about this aspect of meeting deadlines.
And so I just wanted to check in with you and find out where we are with this project. As you know, you missed a fairly significant deadline last week, and this will negatively impact the team's ability to move forward with the next stages of this project.
I know. I'm really sorry that I missed the deadline, but really, it wasn't my fault. You see, we had all of these unexpected technical problems at the last minute, and I couldn't get into the database and extract the kind of information that I needed for the data analysis. You know, if the tech guys would have done their job and kept the CRM stable, then I wouldn't have missed my deadline.
Oh, come on. An excuse like that is tantamount to lying. You're essentially blaming the tech team for your time management issues rather than accepting responsibility for the fact that you were procrastinating for the past 2 weeks.
No, I'm not trying to pass the buck here. I know it was me who was ultimately responsible for getting this done, but the thing is, I could have finished on time if the system hadn't gone down. And you know, with everything I've got going on now, I can't afford to waste time dealing with technical problems. I've got a lot on my plate, and there are only 24 hours in a day.
I'm not going to accept this excuse. You're using these small technical glitches as a crutch and trying to rationalize the fact that you've missed your deadline. Look, we have standards, and I expect you to live up to those standards. No more phony excuses. If you're in over your head, you tell me. No more missed deadlines. Now, I want that data on my desk by 9 a.m.
This employee got in a lot of trouble for missing his deadline.
Exactly. I think it's a very important aspect of not only Western culture, but also in general, assuming guilt when it's your fault.
Yeah.
In this case, we saw that the employee didn't really want to accept the fact that it was his fault.
Yeah, he didn't say, yeah, I know it was me, I'm sorry, and this is my plan to fix it.
Now, this is very important among cultures because in some cultures, the aspect of losing face is so important, right?
Right.
So somebody may not really want to assume guilt, or they have to because it's part of the culture.
But what's the standard in North American business practice?
I would say that you would have to assume responsibility and take responsibility for your actions, right? And say, yes, it's my fault, I did it, but I'm gonna get it fixed, or I'll do it, or I'll make up for it.
So some good business tips here today in this lesson. Now, remember, if you have any questions about the language or want to tell us a little bit about how you assume responsibility in your culture, visit our website at englishpod.com.
Right, we're always there to help you out, and until next time.
Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Same as, equivalent to.
Tantamount.
Later than expected.
Behind schedule.
Very important or very relevant.
Fairly significant.
The action of delaying one's work.
Procrastination.
In essence, basically.
Essentially.
To create an untrue story.
Fabricate.
Used to indicate you justify failure with excuses.
As a crutch.
To give the reasons why you did something wrong.
Justify.
To explain bad behavior in a way that falsely makes it seem proper or better.
Rationalize.
The quality of being late often.
Tardiness.
To have an effect on something.
Impact.
Continue, go on.
Move forward.
Coming without warning.
Unexpected.
At the last moment.
Last minute.
Leave tasks or duties for a later time.
Procrastinate.
Blame someone else. Pass on the responsibility.
Pass the buck.
At last. In the end. Eventually.
Ultimately.
Another way of saying I have many things to do.
On my plate.
Not true. Fake or false.
Phony.
Too much to handle.
In over your head.
Let's try that faster. To give the reasons why you did something wrong.
Justify.
Too much to handle.
In over your head.
Later than expected.
Behind schedule.
Another way of saying I have many things to do.
On my plate.
To explain bad behavior in a way that falsely makes it seem proper or better.
Rationalize.
Leave tasks or duties for a later time.
Procrastinate.
Not true. Fake or false.
Phony.
Same as. Equivalent to.
Tantamount.
At last. In the end. Eventually.
Ultimately.
Very important or very relevant.
Fairly significant.
The action of delaying one's work.
Procrastination.
At the last moment.
Last minute.
To have an effect on something.
Impact.
In essence. Basically.
Essentially.
Continue. Go on.
Move forward.
Used to indicate you justify failure with excuses.
As a crutch.
Coming without warning.
Unexpected.
Blame someone else. Pass on the responsibility.
Pass the buck.
The quality of being late often.
Tardiness.
To create an untrue story.
Fabricate.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Tantamount. Not telling me everything is tantamount to lying. Tantamount. The way you request things is tantamount to a demand. Be more polite. Tantamount. The president's words were so harsh that they were tantamount to a declaration of war. Fairly significant. There is a fairly significant amount of money in that bank account. Fairly significant. There is a fairly significant chance that you will get the scholarship. Fairly significant. The president talked about how fairly significant economic growth is expected this year. Essentially. By not believing what I'm saying, you are essentially calling me a liar. Essentially. The company is essentially laying people off in order to reduce costs. Essentially. Carl essentially told his boss that if he doesn't get a raise, he's going to quit. As a crutch. I realized that I was using alcohol as a crutch to get through the day. As a crutch. I think Bill's very capable of being successful, but he uses his disability as a crutch. As a crutch. Stop using your weight as a crutch. Just because you're a bit fat doesn't mean you can't get a great job. Rationalize. You can't rationalize your son's behavior by saying he's going through a hard time. Rationalize. As much as I tried, I couldn't rationalize buying such an expensive pair of shoes. Rationalize. You know it was the wrong thing to do, so stop trying to rationalize.